Hare Krishna. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. We are reading from Caitanya CaritamritaAdi-Lila, chapter 5. Text 41, we have been reading the purport of the text. And so I'll quickly just read the translation again. Vasudev, Sankarshan, Pradyumna and Anirudh constitute this second quadruple. They are purely transcendental. So purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Shilpa.
I just want to ask one thing. So this is the same that has been describing about the four of them, right? The quadruple, and then how they are situated, where they are situated, right?
That's right.
Okay.
That's right. So Prabhupada is step by step helping us to understand that how the Chaturvyuha are transcendental.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So then yesterday we read that some people are also misrepresenting the Pancharatrika Vidhi, and Srila Prabhupada is saying that how it is misrepresented. Pancharatrika Vidhi is authorized scripture. But okay, so in commenting on Vedanta Sutra 2242, Sripad Shankaracharya has claimed that Sankarshan is a jiva, an ordinary living entity. But there is no evidence in any Vedic scripture that devotees of the Lord have ever said that Sankarshan is an ordinary living entity. He is an infallible plenary expansion of the Supreme Personality of Godhead in the Vishnu category, and he is beyond the creation of material nature. So, Sankarshan is not a jiva. He's not an ordinary jiva. He is an expansion of the Supreme Lord. He is Vishnu Tattva. He's Vishnu Tattva. And so he can never come under Maya. We jivas, we come under Maya. Right now we are under influence of Maya, right? If we say, no, we never come. Right now we are under the influence of Maya. We are thinking we are the body. And we are very much inside the body right now. We have this covering of the material body. But Sankarshan, no, his form is Satchid Ananda. He's the source. He's the original source of the living entities. He's not the living entity. He is a Vishnu Tattva. He is an expansion of the Supreme Lord. The Upanishads declare Nityo Nityanam Chaitanas Chaitananam. He is a supreme living entity among all the living entities. So he is a supreme living entity, not ordinary living entity. Therefore, he is Vibhu Chaitanya, the greatest. He is directly the cause of the cosmic manifestation and the infinitesimal living beings. So the cosmic manifestation is coming from Sankarshan, because he's expanding as Mahavishnu, Garbhodakshay Vishnu, Shiradakshay Vishnu, and also the cause of us, living beings, living entities. He is the infinite living entity, and ordinary living entities are infinitesimal. So what's the difference between God and us? God is infinite, unlimited, omniscient, omnipresent. We are infinitesimal. We are also souls. We are also souls, but our size is different. Krishna's size and our size is different. Therefore, he is never to be considered an ordinary living being, for that would be against the conclusion of the authorized scriptures. So if we think that the Supreme Lord or his expansions are ordinary living entities, like how we are living entities, but we are ordinary. If we think that the Supreme Lord is also an ordinary living entity, then that is against the Vedas. The Vedas are all saying that the Supreme Lord is supreme, he's unlimited, and that we are infinitesimal. The living entities are also beyond the limitations of birth and death. So we, because we are spirit souls, we actually have no birth and no death. This only because we change our bodies. So we think we are dying and taking birth. But for the soul, there is no birth and no death. So that's why Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, the example, he says, as you change clothes, in the morning you wear some other clothes, in the night you wear some other clothes, during the day you wear some other clothes. So like that, but the person is the same. The clothes are keeping on changing. Similarly, we, the soul, the living entity, we are the same. What happens at death? We just take another body. It's like changing our clothes. So this is the version of the Vedas and is accepted by those who follow scriptural injunctions and who have actually descended in the disciplic succession. So this is the Vedic conclusion. And everyone who follows the Vedas in the parampara, in the disciplic succession, they accept it. Then in answer to Shankaracharya's commentary on Vedanta Sutra 2.243, it must be said that the original Vishnu of all the Vishnu categories, which are distributed in several ways, is Mula Sankarshan. So the original Vishnu of all the Vishnu categories, which are distributed in several ways, is Mula Sankarshan. Mula means the original. Sankarshan is also Vishnu, but from him all other Vishnus expand. This is confirmed in the Brahma Samhita 546. So where is all the Vishnus are coming from? They're coming from this original Sankarshan, Mula Sankarshan. They're all Vishnu Tattva. They're all Vishnu Tattva. Here just the detail is given if we want to understand, oh, how does Krishna expand into Balaramji? Then who does Balaramji first expand to? Then how does the Mahavishnu come and all that? So in Brahma Samhita 546, it is said that just as a flame transferred from another flame acts like the original, so the Vishnus who emanate from Mula Sankarshan are as good as the original Vishnu. One should worship that Supreme Personality of Godhead who thus expands himself. So Brahma Samhita, Lord Brahma says, we take one candle, we light so many other candles with it, and all those candles which we lit, they have equal glow. They are no way inferior to the original candle, but still there is one original candle. That is the way to understand it. And so worship that original, Govinda, who expands himself, the original. Any questions or comments till now?
No.
So in reply to the commentary of Shankaracharya on the 44th,
Just one thing.
Yes.
So just to clear one thing, that Shankaracharya ji made an commentary and then they are clarifying.
Yeah, he
Right?
made a commentary on the Vedanta Sutra. And so, because it was his service to misinterpret the Vedanta Sutra, so he misinterpreted it. But we are being given the correct explanation as Vyasadeva wrote, because the Vedanta Sutra is written by Vyasadeva. He's a pure devotee. So then we are understanding. So
the misinterpretation, what he did was that he's an ordinary jiva like us.
Yeah.
And now he's clarifying that what he actually is and his position.
Yeah, so Srila Prabhupada is helping us to clarify.
Okay.
From the various Vedic scriptures. Yeah. Then in the 44th aphorism, it may be said that no pure devotees, strictly following the principles of the Pancharatra, will ever accept the statement that all the expansions of Vishnu are different identities, for this idea is completely false. So all the Vishnu expansions, they are not different. They are all Krishna. So it's said that the pure devotees, they are following the principles of Pancharatra. They will never say that all these expansions are different personalities. It's Krishna himself who's expanding into different expansions. Even Sripad Shankaracharya in his commentary on the 42nd aphorism has accepted that the personality of Godhead can automatically expand himself variously. So Shankaracharya himself is also agreeing that yes, the Supreme Lord, he can expand. He is. These are his expansions. It's himself. It's not different personalities. Therefore, his commentary on the 42nd aphorism and his commentary on the 44th aphorism are contradictory. So Prabhupada is saying that in his commentary itself, Sripad Shankaracharya is contradicting himself. It is a defect of Mayavad commentaries.
Is aphorism?
It is his commentary on the Vedanta Sutra. So in that book of the commentary, so the 44th verse would be.
Okay, aphorism is the verse. Okay. Okay, thank you.
So that they make one statement in one place and a contradictory statement in another place as a tactic to refute the Bhagavata school. Thus, Mayavadi commentators do not even follow regulative principles. It should be noted that the Bhagavata school accepts the quadruple forms of Narayan, but that does not mean that it accepts many gods. So you see what the devotees, the pure devotees, because their understanding is so clear, their commentaries never contradict. There is no contradiction. It only keeps on making things more and more clear. We can see, we are reading Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, Caitanya CaritamritaAdi-Lila, teachings of Queen Kunti. Everything becomes more and more clearer the more we read. There is no contradiction between one to another. But when we are not following the disciplic succession, and if we use our mental speculation, what happens? We will end up contradicting. And that's what is happening. There is contradictions then in that philosophy. Why? Because it's not coming. It's not a perfect knowledge. Then it has the material defect in it. So it should be noted that the Bhagavata school accepts the quadruple forms of Narayan, but that does not mean that it accepts many gods. So God is one. These are his expansions. Anirudh, Pradyumna, Sankarshan, and Vasudev are the expansions of Lord Krishna. Devotees know perfectly well that the absolute truth, the supreme personality of Godhead, is one without a second. They are never pantheists, worshippers of many gods, for this is against the injunctions of the Vedas. So the Supreme Lord, the source has to be one. When we say there's many sources, then that means that's not the source. Again, we have to try to find out where is this so many sources coming from. So the source has to be one. The absolute truth is one without a second. There is no meaning to God if there is many gods. God means the most potent, right? The most, yes, the most knowledge, the maximum, everything, the original. So that is how to understand it. And the Vedas also say that. All the Vedic scriptures declare that the Supreme Lord is one. Devotees completely believe with strong faith that Narayan is transcendental and has inconceivable proprietorship of various transcendental potencies. So what does it mean? So Lord Narayan, he's an expansion of Krishna. And because he's an expansion of Krishna, he's Vishnu Tattva, he's transcendental, not material. He's not material. And as Krishna has all these potencies, Narayan has all these potencies, are inconceivable potencies. We can't even imagine what kind of energies or potencies the Lord has. Why? Because we don't have it. We don't have that. The Lord has it. That's the difference. By simply his willing, the whole world comes about. Whole world is destroyed. We, by our willing, what happens? We have to do the things. And that also, we cannot create a material world out of nothing. So we therefore recommend the scholars consult the Lagu Bhagavatamrita of Srila Rupa Goswami, where these ideas are explicitly stated. Shilpa Shankaracharya has tried to prove that Vasudev, Sankarshan, Pradyumna, and Anirudh expand through cause and effect. So Prabhupada is saying, if we want to, the scholars should consult Lagu Bhagavatamrita to have the correct understanding of the Vedanta Sutra that Srila Vyasadeva wrote. He has compared them with earth and earthen pots. That is completely ignorant, however, for there is no such thing as cause and effect in the expansions. Nanyad yat sat asat param. The Kurma Puran also confirms Deha Dehi Vibhedo Yam Neshware Vidyate Kvachit. There is no difference between body and soul in the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, like how right now, there is a difference. We are the soul and we are inside this material body. We have this covering of material, of matter on us right now. So that's why we are the ordinary living entity. But the Supreme Lord and his expansions, at no time do they have are they covered by matter? No, there is no difference between their soul and their body. No. That is the Supreme Lord. What we see, it's him. That what we are seeing is not matter. And that's the reason we have to understand from the Vedas, because we cannot understand the spiritual with our material senses, with our material eyes, with material mind. We will not be able to understand. So cause and effect are material. For example, it is seen that a father's body is the cause of a son's body, but the soul is neither cause nor effect. On the spiritual platform, there are none of the differences we find in cause and effect. So here, the son is there means a father has to be there, right? There's a son, and so it means there's a father. Otherwise, how did the son come? But spiritual platform, there is none of the differences we find in cause and effect, because everything is spiritual. Since all the forms of the Supreme Personality of Godhead are spiritually supreme, they are equally controllers of material nature. Standing on the fourth dimension, they are predominating figures on the transcendental platform. So we are always looking at the three dimensions, but what about the fourth dimensions? So there is no trace of material contamination in their expansions because material laws cannot influence them. There is no such rule as cause and effect outside the material world. The cause and effect is there only in the material world. In the spiritual world, there is not this rule of cause, and because of this is the effect. Therefore, the understanding of cause and effect cannot approach the full, transcendental, complete expansions of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The expansions of the Lord are complete, they are full, they are transcendental. That's how we need to understand. They are expansions of the Supreme Lord. And they have these transcendental potencies of the Supreme Lord. Is that okay?
What is this cause and effect? Can you explain it again, please?
So here, Prabhupada is saying, because here in the material world, everything we are saying because there is something happen, because of something, then something else happened, right? Cause, because there is a son, there is a father, but they both are different, right? The son and the father, they are different. But in the expansions of the Supreme Lord, they are his expansions. They are not different than him, yet they are have the equal potency as the Supreme Lord. They are his, it's very difficult
Yeah.
for us to even
Yeah.
understand it, because we
But
are,
got the
that
idea.
means there are thousands of me, How is that possible? Because we are living entity or ordinary living entity. But for the Lord, why not? Why can't he expand himself? It's he himself in all these different forms. Why can't he? And we say, no, he can't. Why? Because, oh, I can't. Oh, I can't imagine such a thing. But then again, we are putting our mental limitations on the Supreme Lord and his powers, his potencies. So that is what the explanation is.
Yeah, got it. Thank you.
Thank you. So we'll continue reading tomorrow. Caitanya Caritamrita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you for listening in and joining in. Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Hare Krishna.